Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, English Speaking Fluency GL. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ryan. We're really happy you're here learning English with us.
If you enjoy simple, real-life English conversations, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
That's right. We keep things easy, practical, and useful, just like the English you hear every day.
Whether you're just starting out or working to improve your fluency, you're in the right place.
We're here to help you speak English confidently, step by step.
All right, let's get started with today's conversation. So, imagine this.
So, Arav stood on that stage, spoke in broken but honest English, and people clapped.
That moment alone can change a person's life.
It did. Not overnight, but deeply.
What changed inside him?
Something very simple, but very powerful.
Tell me.
He stopped being afraid of mistakes.
That's huge. Most people never reach that point.
Exactly, because once you stop fearing mistakes, you start growing faster.
So what happened after the event?
Arav walked out of the hall, but this time he wasn't the same person who had walked in.
I can imagine. Shoulders straight, a little smile on his face.
And a voice inside saying, "You did it."
That inner voice matters a lot.
Yes, because for the first time, he believed in himself.
So now confidence is high?
Higher than before, but still fragile.
Like a new plant, growing but needs care.
Exactly.
So what's next? Another challenge?
Not just a challenge, an opportunity.
Oh, now we're talking.
Remember the lady who spoke to him at the event?
Yes, the one who encouraged him.
Her name was Mira.
Okay, interesting.
2 days later, Arav got an email.
Wait, from her?
Yes.
What did it say?
Hi, Arav. I saw your effort at the event. We have a small internship opportunity in our company. If you're interested, let me know.
That's huge.
Yes, not a big job, but a door opened.
And all because he had the courage to speak.
Exactly.
So what did he do?
He replied immediately, "Yes, I am interested."
No hesitation this time.
None.
So internship begins?
Yes, and this is where things get real.
Meaning what?
Office environment, English everywhere, meetings, emails, conversations.
Pressure level 100.
Exactly.
First day, how did it go?
Arav reached early, sat quietly, observed everything.
That's smart.
Mira welcomed him and said, "Don't worry about your English, just try your best."
That's a supportive environment.
Yes, but still, fear doesn't disappear instantly.
True.
His first task was simple: send an email.
Oh no, writing in English now.
He stared at the screen for 10 minutes.
Thinking about every word?
Yes. Is this correct? Is this wrong? Should I write this?
Overthinking mode on.
Exactly.
So what did he do?
Finally, he wrote a simple email.
Simple is best.
Yes, he remembered clarity matters more than perfection.
That's a great lesson.
And days passed, and slowly he improved.
In speaking?
Speaking, writing, listening, everything.
Could his colleagues notice it?
Yes, one of them said, "Your communication is improving fast."
That must have felt amazing.
It did, but something unexpected happened.
Uh-oh.
One day, Mira said, "Arav, tomorrow you will join a client meeting."
Wait, client meeting?
Yes.
That's next level pressure.
Arav felt nervous again.
Old fear coming back?
Yes, but weaker this time.
Because now he has experience.
Exactly. So what did he do that night?
He prepared. Like how?
Practiced speaking, wrote possible sentences, imagined the meeting.
Visualization technique, powerful.
Yes.
So meeting day arrives.
Arav sat in the meeting room.
Heart beating fast again?
Of course. And the client?
A confident foreign client, fast English, clear accent.
That's scary for learners.
Very.
Could Arav understand everything?
Not everything, but enough.
That's progress.
At one point, Mira looked at him and said, Arav, would you like to share your thoughts?
Oh, spotlight moment.
Yes.
What did he do?
He paused, took a breath, and started speaking.
Smooth? Not perfectly, but clearly.
That's what matters.
He explained his idea in simple English.
And?
The client nodded and said, "That's a good point."
Let's go!
That one sentence boosted his confidence to another level.
I can imagine.
After the meeting, Mira smiled and said, "Well done."
That's a big moment.
Yes, because now Arav was no longer just learning English.
He was using it in real life.
Exactly.
That's transformation.
But wait.
Don't tell me another twist is coming.
Yes, and this one is serious.
I'm ready.
After a few weeks, the company had to make a decision.
About Arav?
Yes,
So internship ending?
exactly.
So will they offer him a job?
That's the question.
And?
Arav was called into a meeting room.
Oh no, that feeling again.
Mira sat there, serious expression.
This is intense.
She said, "Arav, we've seen your journey,
Yeah?
and we're very impressed with your effort.
That sounds positive.
But
Oh no, not the but.
don't stop here.
Because what happens next?
Yes, we'll decide Arav's future.
This is the biggest moment so far.
And in the next part,
We finally see the result?
yes, result, reward, and a life-changing realization.
I'm excited.
So Arav is sitting in that room, Mira in front of him, and everything feels like it's about to be decided.
Yeah, this is that moment where your heart beats louder than your thoughts.
Exactly.
And she said, "We're impressed, but
Yes, that one word, but, can change everything.
I'm nervous for him."
Arav sat quietly. No overthinking this time. No panic. Just calm and ready.
That itself shows how much he has changed.
Yes, earlier he would have already imagined the worst.
Now he's facing it.
Exactly.
So what did Mira say next?
She looked at him and said, Arav, when you joined, your communication skills were very basic.
Honest feedback?
Yes, she continued, you struggled to express your ideas. You hesitated a lot.
That must have reminded him of his past.
It did, but he didn't feel bad
Why?
because he already knew it.
That's maturity.
Then she said something that changed everything.
What?
She looked at him and said, but your growth has been exceptional.
Yes.
Arav looked up, surprised.
That one sentence. Wow.
She smiled and said, you didn't just improve your English, you improved your confidence, your attitude, and your willingness to learn.
That's bigger than language.
Exactly.
So, job?
She said, we would like to offer you a full-time position.
Let's go.
Arav couldn't believe it.
From struggling to speak to getting a job.
Yes.
What did he say?
For a moment, he said nothing.
Speechless. In a good way.
Then he smiled and said, thank you, I will do my best.
Simple but powerful.
That was his style now. Simple, clear, confident.
That's real fluency.
Exactly.
So what happened after that?
Arav walked out of the office.
Same office, different person.
Yes, he looked at the sky, took a deep breath and smiled.
That moment must have felt unreal.
It did.
Did he remember his first interview failure?
Yes, everything flashed in his mind. The broken sentences, the silence, the embarrassment.
And now?
Now he had a job, confidence, and a new identity.
That's complete transformation.
But here's the most important part.
What?
It didn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
It happened because he showed up every day, even when he didn't feel like it.
That's the real secret.
Yes.
So what did he do when he reached home?
His father asked, how was your day?
Same question again, but different answer this time.
Arav smiled and said, I got the job.
That must have been a proud moment.
His father's eyes filled with happiness.
That's emotional.
Yes, because this wasn't just a job.
It was a victory over fear.
Exactly.
What about Kabir?
Arav called him immediately.
Of course.
He said, bro, I got the job.
And Kabir?
He laughed and said, I knew it. You just needed to start.
That's a true friend.
Yes.
So now, story ends here? Happy ending?
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
Because this story is not just about Arav.
Oh,
It's about every person who thinks, I can't speak English.
that includes a lot of people.
Yes.
So what's the message?
The message is simple. You don't need to be perfect to start.
You just need to start to become better.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
And remember, Arav didn't become fluent in one day.
He just didn't quit.
Yes.
So if someone is listening right now, struggling with English,
Then this is for you.
don't wait for the perfect time.
Don't wait to feel confident.
Start now with whatever you know.
Speak, make mistakes, learn, repeat.
That's the formula.
And one day,
You'll look back and realize,
you've come a long way.
just like Arav.
Exactly.
But I feel like there is still something left.
You're right.
What?
Because life doesn't stop after success.
True.
Life new challenges come, new levels, new fears.
So Arav's journey continues.
Yes, and the next phase is even more interesting.
More challenges?
Bigger challenges.
More growth?
Much more growth.
I am ready.
In the next part,
Arav will face a situation where English is not just about speaking.
but about leading, influencing, and standing out.
That sounds next level.
It is.
So, Arav got the job.
Still feels satisfying to say that.
It does. But here's the truth. Getting the job was not the final goal.
Yeah, it's just the beginning of a new level.
Exactly. Because now expectations increase.
More responsibility, more pressure, more communication.
And this time, there's no option to hide.
That's real life.
Arav joined as a junior team member.
New environment again.
Yes, new team, new people, and everyone spoke fluent English.
That can still feel intimidating.
It did. For the first few days, Arav stayed quiet in meetings.
Old habit trying to come back?
Exactly.
So what changed?
One small moment.
Tell me.
During a team meeting, the manager asked a question.
And no one answered?
Yes, silence in the room.
That awkward silence.
Arav actually knew the answer.
But he didn't speak?
Not immediately.
That hesitation again.
Yes, his mind said, what if I say it wrong?
Classic fear.
But then another thought came.
What?
What if I stay silent and miss this chance?
That's powerful.
So he raised his hand.
That moment is everything.
Yes.
What did he say?
Simple words, clear idea, no overthinking.
And?
The manager nodded and said, good point, Arav.
That's recognition.
Exactly.
That must have boosted his confidence again.
Yes, and more importantly, it changed how others saw him.
From quiet guy to someone who contributes.
Exactly.
That's a big shift.
After that day, Arav made a new rule.
What rule?
In every meeting, I will speak at least once.
That's a great strategy.
Yes, small actions, big results.
Did it work?
Slowly, yes.
How?
First week, 1 sentence. Second week, 2 sentences. Third week, full explanation.
That's real progress.
And people started noticing.
That's how opportunities grow.
Exactly.
So what's the next big moment?
It came unexpectedly.
Of course it did.
One day, the manager said, Arav, next week you will present this project.
Presentation?
Yes,
That's next level fear unlocked.
absolutely.
Presenting in English in front of everyone?
Exactly.
What was his reaction?
Outside, calm. Inside, panic.
Sounds accurate.
That night, he couldn't relax.
Thinking about every possible mistake?
Yes. What if I forget? What if I make mistakes? What if people laugh?
That what if loop is dangerous.
Very. But this time, he handled it differently.
How?
He prepared smartly.
Not just hard work, smart work.
Exactly.
What did he do?
He wrote simple sentences, practiced speaking out loud, recorded himself, and timed his presentation.
That's professional preparation.
Yes.
Did he memorize everything?
No, he focused on understanding, not memorizing.
That's important.
Because memorized lines can break, but understanding stays.
Well said.
Presentation day arrived.
Big day.
Arav stood in front of the team, laptop ready, slides open.
Hands shaking?
Slightly.
That's normal.
He took a deep breath and started.
First sentence?
Clear, simple, confident.
That's a strong start.
As he continued, something interesting happened.
What?
He forgot his fear.
That's the flow state.
Yes, he focused on the message, not the language.
That's the secret of fluency.
Exactly.
Did he make mistakes?
Yes, small ones.
Did anyone care?
No.
That's the truth people need to understand.
Yes, people care about your idea, not your grammar perfection.
So, how did it end?
He finished his presentation, and the room was quiet for a second.
That pause.
Then, applause.
Again.
Yes.
That's growth.
The manager said, "Well presented, Arav."
That's official recognition.
Yes.
How did Arav feel?
Proud, calm, confident.
From fear to confidence. What a journey.
And here's the best part.
What?
New employees started coming to him for help.
Wait, he became the guide?
Yes,
That's a full circle moment.
exactly.
What did he tell them?
Don't wait to be perfect. Start speaking. Make mistakes. Learn every day.
The same lesson he learned.
Yes,
That's powerful.
because now he wasn't just learning English.
He was inspiring others.
Exactly.
So this is the final stage.
Not yet.
There's more?
Yes, one final challenge.
Bigger than presentation?
Much bigger.
What could be bigger than this?
A moment where Arav must represent not just himself, but his entire team.
That sounds serious.
It is.
I'm ready for the final part.
So, Arav has come a long way.
From struggling to say, "My name is," to giving presentations. That's a serious transformation.
It is, but now comes the biggest test of his journey.
Bigger than interviews, meetings, and presentations?
Yes, because this time it's not just about him.
Den?
It's about responsibility.
That sounds serious.
One day, the manager called Arav into his cabin.
That always feels intense.
The manager said, "Arav, we have an important international client meeting next week."
International. That means high-level English.
Exactly.
So what's Arav's role?
The manager looked at him and said, "You will lead the presentation."
What?
Yes,
Not just speak, but lead?
exactly.
That's huge pressure.
Arav was silent for a second.
Old fear knocking again?
Yes, but something had changed.
What?
This time, fear didn't control him.
That's growth.
He said calmly, "Okay, I will do it."
No hesitation.
None.
But inside?
Inside, a storm again.
That never fully goes away.
True. Even confident people feel fear, they just act anyway.
That's the difference.
So, Arav started preparing.
More seriously than before?
Much more seriously.
What did he do this time?
He practiced every day, improved pronunciation, worked on clarity, and practiced answering questions.
That's next-level preparation.
He also did something new.
What?
He practiced thinking in English during pressure situations.
That's advanced.
Yes, because in meetings, you don't get time to translate.
True, you have to respond instantly.
Exactly.
So the big day arrives.
Yes.
Describe the scene.
Conference room, big screen, team members sitting, international clients connected on video call.
Pressure level, maximum.
Absolutely.
Was Arav nervous?
Yes, but controlled.
That's important.
He reminded himself, I have prepared. I can do this.
Self-talk matters.
A lot.
So how did he start?
He smiled and said, Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Clear voice?
Very clear.
That's already a win.
He started explaining the project.
Smoothly?
Yes, step by step, simple language, clear ideas.
That's effective communication.
Exactly.
Did he face any tough questions?
Yes. One client asked a complex question.
That's the real test.
Erav paused.
Thinking fast?
Yes. Earlier, he would panic.
But now?
He stayed calm, understood the question, and answered clearly.
That's confidence.
The client nodded and said, That makes sense.
That's approval at a global level.
Yes.
So how did the presentation end?
Erav concluded confidently. Thank you for your time. We look forward to working together.
Professional.
The meeting ended.
Silence in the room?
For a second, yes.
And then?
The manager smiled and said, Excellent work, Erav.
That must have felt incredible.
It did.
What about the team?
They appreciated him. Some even said, That was very smooth.
From struggling speaker to smooth presenter.
Exactly.
That's a full transformation.
After the meeting, Erav sat alone for a moment.
Thinking?
Yes, he remembered everything. The failed interview, the practice, the fear, the first broken sentences.
And now this moment.
Yes,
That must feel emotional.
it did, because now he understood something very clearly.
What?
English was never the real problem.
Oh,
Fear was.
that's deep.
And once he faced his fear, everything changed.
That's the real lesson of this story.
Yes,
So what happens next in Arav's life?
growth continues.
Always.
More opportunities, more challenges.
But now he's ready.
Exactly.
So what's the final message for the audience?
If you're listening right now,
And you feel stuck?
or afraid to speak English,
Or afraid of making mistakes?
remember Erav.
He was not special.
He just didn't quit.
That's the difference.
Start small,
Speak daily.
make mistakes,
Learn from them.
and keep going.
Because one day,
You won't recognize the old version of yourself.
just like Arav,
Exactly.
this wasn't just a story.
It was a journey.
And maybe your journey starts today.
So don't wait.
Start now.
And we'll see you in the next episode.